Hey guys, I am getting geared up to be able to try to do this one project here in 3 takes. And this is the 3rd take we're working on right now. I'm determined to fire it up at least by the end of this video. Even if it's not totally complete like I want it to be, but complete enough to be safe. Because you know me, I'm always thinking of something else I can tweak, something else I can change to improve it or make it more easier or whatever. But I don't like to go into the videos when they run on into 4 or 5 or 6, even 7. And a lot of mine do. They run into 7. I can't help it. It's just a lot to it. But on this one here, I've shortened a lot of the video so far. And I'm determined in this 3rd video here, we're going to complete it and fire that monkey up. Hang in there and watch, and you'll see. I realized after I assembled this that it was off just a little bit, and I wanted to get it more square, so I broke it back down and cut these welds loose and cut the ends here just a little bit and put this back under there and weld it back so it's more trued up now. This is the bottom, but while I was doing that, the brick here had to be cut again too. So I cut it over here with this here again and the water, and I didn't have to take off too much. But what little bit I did take off, that left a notch right here in the middle. I could cut on the outsides, but it won't go all the way through the saw. It won't cut the middle the way the saw is set up. So I took it to the grinder over here, the bench grinder, which you can't even see from here. And the bench grinder would just barely graze that. I worked on it for a while, working on it. And it just wasn't doing very much. But what I've discovered is whatever is on this disc here cuts this really good, which I will demonstrate. Ta-da! There it is. It fits tight too. Now that's the bottom. Now I got to go do the top. I got to do the same thing with the top. Cut off a little bit of the slider. Cut off some of the edge here, and then take the slider here and slide it under to get it trued up. And then I got to trim up the brick the same way I did this one. Okay, I am back at this level here now, but it is tighter. It's tighter around here. I got it tightened up in these corners here better. But that's why I didn't want to weld this real solid until I knew where I was at. Now I know where I'm at. And the doors will slide. But now the next thing I got to do is my uprights for here. I got to make 4 of them. One for here, and 2 the other side. I'm going to weld them at the bottom. All 4 of them, weld them at the bottom. But at the top, I'm going to bend it over and put a hole in it and bolt it. Put 4 bolts. 1, 2, and then on the other side put 2. That way if I have to take it apart, I just take that bolt loose. If I have to shim it to raise it up, I could shim it and raise it up, which will help out a lot. But everything's fitting tighter now. Up in here it's fitting tighter. It's better, a lot better. Whole lot better. Yeah. Okay, here's where I'm at. I got all 4 of them cut and bent, but now I got to fit them in there. And I was looking at these 2 over here first. I got to do a little clipping. I can see already here. See, it's just a little too long up there, but I got enough. I can cut off the bottom where it will fit up in there. And looks like I need to trim a little bit right there too. I need to cut a little here and a little off the bottom because I want them to fit right up against the brick. Actually, I want this one to cover that crack. That's what I'm planning on, is covering the crack right there. See, that one's a little too long too. So I'm just going to cut off a little off the bottom and whack a little off the top where it fit in there, kind of a French cut into it. And then I got to do the other side. And then I'm going to weld them here at the bottom, all 4 sides. But I'm going to bolt them up here at the top. I'm going to put a hole through here and through that piece there and put a bolt. That way I can take this top. I can take this top off if I need to. So it'll be 2 bolts here and it'll be 2 over here. So let me get that caught up and then we'll go from there. Okay, I've got 2 of them welded in. I haven't dressed them up or cleaned them or anything. Grind them down a little bit. But yeah, I think this is going to work pretty good. See, I'm not going to weld at the top. I'm not going to weld at the top. I'm going to bolt these 2. But they're welded at the bottom. And then I got to go to the other side and do it. And then I got a little adjusting I got to do on the slides here. This one here is a little cockeyed. The other's looking pretty good. And this one's looking pretty good, but this one's leaning too much. I'm going to have to do something about it. And I got to dress these in there. I got to do fitting, take my time. I do one at a time. And when I get it dressed and fit it, then I go ahead and weld it in. Yep, I'm doing just one at a time. See, I have to cut a little off the bottom off this one. And cut a little at the top. Because I remember doing the other 2. I had to cut it a little at the top. I had to cut a little at the bottom. And but yeah, it's getting there. It is definitely getting there. I am really happy with it. It's got front and back doors. This is getting real solid over here. Okay, let me get a little further along. Look at this here. This is for a welding hood lens, the clear part that goes on the outside of the dark. And yeah, I got a lot of hot glue in there. But I could change it out if I had to. But this is to protect the camera lens when I'm welding and stuff. I can set the camera on top of it and then clip it down. And this is what I use. This is what I use. And the camera will fit under here. And that way I can detach it easy enough. But this also will sandwich in between the camera and this to give it a protected area. But also I added this onto a microphone or a lamp type. I don't know what you'd call that. It ain't a stand, but it's a... And then I mounted that to a tripod, which has got a bolt right here, cut off head bolt, where I can just slide this down on there. And it helps out a lot. You know, it's movable. Actually, you can adjust it right here too. You can adjust it here. It swivels. And it's real useful for what I'm doing. And I can move it anywhere as I want to move it. And as you know, being on a tripod, I can go up and down or whatever. But anyhow, this is what I'm adding on there. Of course, the backside don't look that attractive, but it'll work. Okay, I got my little parts here trimmed out, and I bent this with a torch. I didn't say that earlier, but I took all 4 of them, put them in a vise out there near the torch, and heated them up and bend them over. But I've got them where they're pretty much called saddled in or saddled or whatever, and I figured I'd better go ahead and weld them. This is the last 2 of these. And I'm hoping to be able to fire this up today. Okay, when you start getting the little bitty things put on here, you know you're getting close to being finished. I need something to hold my tongs. And then also I got these here. I've seen somebody else had a pair laid out from Harbor Freight. 2 of them for $12. And they're 16 inches long. They're starting to show a little rust, but that's alright. But I need something that's going to hold them. And I've come across this here. This was for a fireplace tools or holder for your poker and everything. Would go down there. It's be a long stand here with a bottom on it. And it was messed up, so I just cut it off. And figured I would weld it right there. Yeah, I figured this would be a good place for it right here. And then I could hang the tongs off of it, and it'd be a part of this unit. That way, if I move this unit, this will stay with it. Okay, that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing. I am going to make a basket for up front here, and when I pull stuff out I can put it in there and let it cool off. And I want to make it detachable because when I go to store this, I don't want to have to store this extra or the whole length of it. I can store it easier if this is detachable. Now right over here I went on and cut the frame. This is all bed rail. And I've got this expanded wire. I'm going to saddle down in the bottom of it here. I've got plenty of this stuff here, so if it burns through, which I don't think it will, but and then I'm going to make this where it's detachable over there, and I'll show you in a minute how I'm going to do that. Okay, I've got this here welded up pretty good. I didn't weld it on the back, just the inside. But as I was putting it together, I made sure to square it up good and then pinch it off of a pair of vice grips. And I did 2 sides at one time, squared it off, and then pinched it real good. And then when I welded those two, I flipped it around and squared this off and pinched it, and squared this off and pinched it. Now I got to get ready for the sliding part of it. That's going to be interesting. Let me show you how I'm going to do that, or let me show you how it's going to look. Okay, this is the frame. Everything's upside down. I took everything apart. I took it apart and I flipped it over. And these are 2 pieces of 1/2 inch galvanized pipe that I've welded on the bottom of this. Okay, this is just pinched on there. This frame here, which this is going to be the basket, basically. It's going to have the expanded metal in here. This is what I just welded up. It's flipped upside down. Now what I'm going to do is take this old rusty can't even think what you call it. Oops. Rebarb. This old rusty rebarb. And I'm going to cut it to fit under here, and I'm going to weld it on here. That way I know it will slide in there. I'm only going to weld it on the basket part. I'm not going to weld it on that part. That way I can disassemble it and yeah. I think I ran out of wire. I gotta check my spool. The wire was sticking on my tip here, and you know, a lot of times you can just change it out. They're not too expensive, but if you don't have any on hand and you're not being paid $50 or $100 an hour to be welding, you're just a hobbyist like me, then, and you don't have any, well, I probably got some, but I wanted to make this video on it. And you don't want to take time to run uptown to buy any. These are tip cleaners. They're used for a torch, and I've done this many a time just to see if I can do it, and I know I can. But you got to find the one that fits in there pretty tight. This is the glove-free job here. That may be it. Let's try this one here. That's too big. They're all different sizes. The one that's broke right there is probably the one I need. I probably have used it before. That's too big too. It's a little too big too. Gosh, working my way down. And I'm coming in from the back side because I know there's no slag in here. Oh, there we go. And it goes all the way through. But it's got these little barbs on it. And you can like kind of clean it up a little bit. Kind of push it to one side and the other. Like I said, if you're getting paid big dollars, the man's not what you say. Change out that tip. What is it, $1 or $2? And I could do that. This has been on here. This is the one that even came with the machine. This is like the second or third time I've cleaned it. You go to one size bigger. Okay, this is one size bigger. Okay. Yeah, I've done this before. But like I said, this is mainly used for the tip cleaner is for torch. I got a feeling it's still hot. Okay. And I leave this on there because it cuts back on a lot of the slag. It keeps it from just going everywheres. Oh, that's not good. Well, it's got a left hand and a right hand thread here. Let me see if I can. compensate here. Go ahead and snug this one down. Looks like it's a left-handed thread. Okay, and this one here is a right-handed thread. Okay, turn him on. I'm back in business again. Back in business, boys and girls. Okay, I just flipped it back over to slide things under here, and I got to assemble it back together. Now I still haven't put my bolts in here. I gotta make bolts, and then that's gonna crimp that down, and it'll be a lot more rugged then. Wow. I still ain't got it fired up yet. I mean, I think that's everything I need to do. I need to check it out again to make sure. But yeah, this is going to do fine. This is going to do fine. I finally got it done. It's not completed. I can see things that's going to have to be tweaked and managed and finessed and adjusted, and there's some other fine words, I'm sure. But right now it will fire up. This is going to be like the second firing or the third firing. I just had to check it for leaks, make sure it was going to work. I'd hate to video something that's blowing up or whatever, you know, or catching on fire everywhere, and that would be terrible. But that's fine. Well, before I do all that, I have not put any of this on there yet. This will take it on up to where it can do 3,000 Fahrenheit degrees. But I may want to put a different jet or something in there, or whatever. Because yeah, let's look at it and see what we can do. Okay, I don't have a little torch like some of them use. All I got is paper and a lighter. And but I got it turned on over there. I got it turned off up here. I need to see that. But I got it turned off right here. I'll start off with the air closed up here before I turn it on. And then I adjust the air up here. As you can see, it's bringing the flame back in. Now I don't know what's making it jump like that. Now unless the air and the gas mixture is not good. I'm going to turn the gas up a little higher. Let me turn the PSI up some. I don't want to go up too high. I'm not familiar with this real good. Let me adjust the air just a little bit more. I can see it coming out the back door even. Oh, I better move that hose. Yeah, I need to put a support here for this hose, get this hose further away from it. But see, there's coming out every crack there is almost. Oh, here's my my forge holder and everything, or tongs holder. I was going to put a piece of metal in there and just see what would happen. But yeah, there's some more adjustment and some more I've got to learn about this. But it is definitely coming out the front door. I'm going to adjust the air just a little bit more. That looks a little more constant. That is better. Maybe it's getting some of the air out of the lines. I don't know. But yeah, you can see it coming out, the flames coming out the door here. But yeah, I need to do something about something holding that and protecting that line there. I don't like that being exposed. It's pretty constant now. But you can see it at the back door too, through there. I don't know if I'm going to get it orange or not. Far from it. Well, I don't think it's been in there for a whole minute yet. It may take 2 or 3 minutes. Let me get it orange and then I'll bring you back to it. To me, it's like waiting for the aliens to land. Feel all bubbly inside and excited. I can see it getting orange in there. Let me find a magnet. Okay, I got a magnet. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all this, but we'll see. But it's definitely getting orange. It is orange. Oh, still got magnet on it. It's still attracted to the magnet. These still feel a little loose. I'll probably take a torch or something and heat these up and bend it out where the end down here will be a little tighter. These I know work. I like that. Still magnet. But once I put this refractory cement in there, it'll get a lot warmer easier in there too. Because this is just a brick. I don't have anything else in there. And on the air intake, you can see I just barely got it open. can't get too close to it. It comes out the cracks here. But like I said, I get that refractory cement in there, and all that'll stop. Whoa. Seems like it's losing some of the magnetism. It's not as magnet as it was earlier. Well, I'm fixing to cut it off. It's still got some magnet to it. And I'll have to play around with it tomorrow. I'll give it another minute or two. I'm not sure if it needs to lose its magnetic powers or not, strength. A lot weaker than it was. That's it. That's it.
Viewing the video, or giving us a like, or subscribing makes us want to bring on a little more entertainment. Don't you agree?